Hey everybody, we've got a new Formula One Grand Prix event open now. It is, of course, Japanese Grand Prix, the fourth in the series of 5 Grand Prix events. So, it's of course taking place at Suzuka Circuit. So, without further ado, let's get started. But before that, actually, let's talk about what you need to have available in terms of resources before you get started, because this is very important, because you have 5 days to complete it, and of course there's a cap on how much you can earn every day in terms of motorsport dollars, right? Which is the only thing that matters. So you can earn 180,000 per day, no more, right? I mean, you can buy more with the real money, but that's, if you're willing to, shell out cash, then you don't need to listen to me here. But for those of us who does not want to do that, so you have to be able to afford all the upgrades that you're going to need to bring your PR up to the requirement, which is 126.6. It's always been 126.6 for all the cars, right? For all Grand Prix. So that's the first thing that you got to know. And then depending on which car you pick, the upgrade scheme is going to vary, because there are 3 different tiers of base PR. So like the highest PR, the tier 1, we're talking Mercedes-AMG and let's see, Red Bull, right? Red Bull Racing and the Ferrari, right? Those 3 starts at the base PR of 125.8. So for those cars, in order to meet the PR 126.6, because now here's one more thing that you got to be aware of. They patched up the integer glitch depending on which language you use, like we did in the past. That does not work anymore. They fixed that, so you have to bring your PR up to 126.6 now. Whether it's a decimal point or comma does not matter. You have to bring it up. So as I was saying, back to tier 1 cars with the base PR of 115.8. The cheapest way to meet your PR requirement is going to be getting 6 upgrades on the engine, 4 on body, 5 on brakes, and 4 on tires and wheels. Right, so 6, 4, 5, 4. And the total cost for that upgrade scheme is 1,734,771 motorsport dollars. So, and if you're thinking, so that's how much it's going to cost. So ideally, if you're being super conservative, at least you want to have 1.7 million or possibly even 1.8 million in the bank before you even start this event. That's being super conservative, right? Now, if you're more adventurous, then you obviously, as you complete each tier and each stage of the Grand Prix event, you do earn something. So if you're relying on that to replenish, to pay for the upgrades, then you might be able to spare few less, and depending on how many upgrades you want to start with right away, then you don't have to, and how quickly you want to complete this, right? Because you can actually complete all 5 stages right away if you have enough funds to do it. So it's not like special event where you have to wait each day per stage, right? So yeah, and then that's why it's, if you already have all the upgrade cost in the bank, ready to go, ready to spend. Like in my case, I have 2.2 million in my bank, so I am good to go. If I really wanted to, I could finish it right away, just go through, as quickly as I can. So that's for tier 1 cars, right? 6454 is the upgrade scheme, and the cost is going to be 1,734,771 motorsport dollars. All right, moving on to tier 2 cars. You know what? Let's jump in here. So, and on this account, the 3 that it says on top that I've already used, Those are the tier 1 cars with a higher base PR of 115.8. Now the second tier base PR cars are going to be Renault, Toro Rosso, and McLaren. So those 3 cars are going to cost just a little bit more to bring your PR up to the requirement 126.6, because you're going to have to go with the upgrade scheme of 6 on the engine, 4 on body, so that's same, but then you don't have to get the 5th tier brakes, so only 4 on the brakes. Instead, you're going to spend the 5th tier, get the 5th tier upgrade in tires and wheels, which is just a little bit more pricier than the brakes upgrade, right? So we're talking 6,445 for the upgrade scheme, and that is going to cost you 1,763,121 motorsport dollars. So that is for, as I said, Renault, Toro Rosso, and McLaren. Now, the third tier, there are 4 left, right? We got Team Haas, Alfa Romeo, SpScore Racing, and Rokit Williams. Those 4, the base PR starts just a little bit lower than that, 115.6. The cheapest way to get that car's PR to meet the requirement of 126.6 is gonna be getting 5 upgrades on the engine. I know, you're thinking like, oh, it's less than the other cars. Yeah, but listen. You need 4 upgrades on body, so that's so far so good. So none of these cars require more than 4 upgrades on the body, just so you know. You just need to get up to 4th tier on that one. Then you're gonna need 6 upgrades on brakes, and you also need 5th tier upgrade on tires and wheels. So basically you need 1 more upgrade than the first 2 tier cars, and because of that reason it will cost you a decent amount more. So that is the upgrade scheme of 5,464, and the total cost for that is 1,832,872 motorsport dollars. So, and if that's like, you don't want to think about all that, then you can get 5 upgrades across the board for any cars, by the way, which does cost you even slightly higher than that. That's the simplest way to do it, and that cost would be 1,834,334. Come on, the screen went blank, huh? So anyway, so that is the upgrade. So the simplest formula would be just getting 5 upgrades across the board. Any of the cars can meet the PR requirement with that upgrade scheme, and the cost would be the highest as well, 1,834,334 racing motorsport dollars, right? And then yeah, I'll put all these numbers in the description box below, so you guys don't have to listen to me and trying to figure out what number is he talking about, right? So anyway, now let's talk about so far, because I've run through these events, all the F1 content on 3 different accounts, so I got a chance to race 9 different cars so far, and the videos for everything except for the last one I did, which was a Rokit Williams, is already on my channel. So if you're wondering, you can check them out. But not all cars drive the same. I find certain cars are easier to race, at least the way I like to race. There's like 1 per tier favorites, so it's not like the top tier, like the Red Bull Racing and Ferrari and AMG, the Mercedes-AMG all drive the same. Out of those 3, I think Ferrari is definitely my go-to car. I think that runs the best out of those 3. And on the next tier, Renault, Toro Rosso, and McLaren, I think McLaren is the best one out of those 3. And in the last tier, I actually haven't had a chance to drive Team Haas yet, but out of Alfa Romeo, SpScore, and Rokit Williams, I like Alfa Romeo the best out of those. And in fact, I prefer Alfa Romeo over, let's say, Red Bull Racing or Mercedes-AMG. So I think the best three cars in F1, in my opinion, are Ferrari, McLaren, and Alfa Romeo. Now you guys can discuss. That's just my personal preference. I really like those three cars. Really, the way they handle and just they, I don't know, just they, I can win most amount of races with those cars, you know. So that's, you know, that's something, right? But with that being said, let's talk about well, this one. Okay, so which car should I use in this one? Well, since I haven't done Team Haas yet, we'll take that one. Sure, I know we're not in US, but we'll take the American team. So, all right. And of course, the drivers that we have, neither of them are Americans. Figures. That's all right, though. So, okay, so we'll have our Frenchman to be our racer, at least to start off. And here we go. Stage 1. Welcome to Japan. Of course, we're in Suzuka. Has been coming here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Yeah, this is a Honda circuit, isn't it? So yeah, has been coming here, and of course, Honda has had a very successful history in Formula One, unlike Toyota, which has always struggled. And of course, since the last CEO, Mr. Toyota, took over, they actually pulled out of F1 altogether, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so we're not going to be seeing any Toyota, you know, jumping into Formula One, at least for the foreseeable future, I think. Anyway, all right, so let's see what we got here. Better part of the past 3 decades, and as you'll find out, it's the favorite amongst the drivers. Hey, it is a cool circuit, isn't it? It's the longest out of the 5 featured in the current season. It's Friday. Indeed, it is Friday. So that means we've got a big program to get through in today's free practice session. Right, so the format is going to be identical, I'd assume. And I don't know if the payout for this Grand Prix event is going to be less than the last 3. Because that's, once again, kind of been the trend. The first one, the UAE, the Yas Marina Grand Prix, paid out pretty decent amount. And then the next one at Silverstone paid just a little less. And then, of course, the Italian Grand Prix paid even less than that. So if they're kind of, I'm assuming maybe they're thinking that we're farming and banking up some motorsport dollars to propel us into the next event. I know. They think we're responsible. Anyway, we'll be exploring our car's setup for the weekend, but also we need to get some real-world data for the team at the factory to help their CFD modeling for future upgrades. All right, more acronyms to be thrown around here. So anyway, as you can see, 5 days to complete this, and 4 goals for stage 1 through 4. If it's like anything like the last 3 Grand Prix events, I don't know why it wouldn't. And then last stage, of course, is going to have 5 goals, with the final 2 goals having the final PR requirement of 126.6. Right. So it's time to head out there and get our program underway, take it easy for the installation lab, and get an idea on how the car behaves around the track. All right, so the usual message about the loaner we're using from Natalia. So yeah, let's get the first tier upgrades going, right? We're gonna need them anyway before we wrap up the tier 1 or stage 1. So first tier upgrades, total is 160,965 motorsport dollars when you add them all up. And don't let that number fool you, because next tier is gonna be a bit higher next tier. So each tier, the price goes up, and obviously it takes a little bit longer. And obviously we have to get them on 4 different categories. So as I said, you need like 1.7 or 8 million motorsport dollars at the end to meet the PR requirements. So anyway, first tier ones are pretty easy. They're pretty short as well. So we'll get them all going. Right. And the cost of actual upgrades are same across the board for all the cars. So there's no change there. That's how we can tell exactly how much things are going to cost, of course. All right, so here's the installation lap. Just a quick single lap, I'd assume. Get a feel for how the car handles. Of course, we got drafting active in F1 content. Oh, don't swing out. There we go. So it's gonna be almost 2 laps because we're starting right at the S's on the pre-roll lap here. And it's parabolica. We should be able to go flat out. How do I like the Haas so far? I felt a little wonky at the beginning, so I'm not so sure what I think. Oh, we're still early on in this, so of course we can take that flat out as well. Oh, I guess we only have, oh, I guess that's what they meant by installation lap. We don't actually do the next lap. Fine. It's the lap number 0, I guess. Alright, and we pick up a few motorsport dollars for that effort. Alright. So, goal number 1 complete. So we'll continue with the goal number 2 in the next video. So we'll see you then. Stay tuned.